Mercedes has been preparing for the 2026 season for a long time. In fact, they've been working on this car for years, and the level of anticipation surrounding it is unlike anything we've seen in recent Formula One history. Team insiders, rival principals, and even former world champions are all saying the same thing. When the new regulations arrive, Mercedes could be the team everyone is chasing. So let's take a closer look at what we actually know. The car is officially named the Mercedes-AMG F1 W17 Performance, and that name immediately reveals something important. The E-Performance badge highlights just how critical the electrical side of the power unit will be in 2026. Under the new rules, power is split evenly, 50% from the internal combustion engine and 50% from electric energy. That's a huge change from the current era, where the engine still does most of the work. Mercedes has been preparing for this shift from the very beginning. While other teams were still fully focused on fighting for championships with the current generation of cars, Mercedes quietly redirected major resources toward the future. Toto Wolff has openly admitted that the team accepted short-term pain, sacrificing performance in recent seasons to gain a head start on 2026. Now, that gamble is about to be judged. Inside the Brackley and Brixworth factories, the mood has been confident. Sources close to the project describe Mercedes' power unit program as the smoothest among all manufacturers. While Ferrari reportedly had to deal with late design changes and Honda acknowledged early reliability concerns, Mercedes engineers worked steadily through their targets without major disruptions. Former F1 driver and pundit Johnny Herbert did note that Mercedes faced some initial issues during early testing, but those problems now appear to be under control. And this is where things start to get really interesting. With everything we're hearing about a potential Mercedes advantage, it raises a bigger question. Should Formula One have done more to prevent one manufacturer from dominating yet another era? Or is this simply the reward for planning ahead and engineering excellence? At the center of the current controversy is one specific technical detail: engine compression ratios. Mercedes engineers found a clever interpretation of the regulations. On paper, the rules state that the compression ratio must not exceed 18:1. The FIA measures this with the engine cold and not running, but Mercedes designed their connecting rods to expand once the engine reaches operating temperature. As the components heat up, the piston is pushed slightly higher inside the cylinder, increasing the compression ratio beyond what was measured during static testing. The result? An estimated gain of 10 to 15 horsepower. That might sound small, but in Formula One, it's anything but. Over a single lap, that advantage can be worth around a quarter of a second. Over an entire race distance, it becomes a decisive edge. Ferrari, Honda, and Audi have all raised concerns with the FIA, arguing that while the solution may be legal, it goes against the spirit of the regulations. The FIA has already held meetings with all engine manufacturers, but so far, no ban has been announced. Mercedes' position remains strong because they were transparent from the start. They presented the concept to the FIA early on, making any retroactive punishment extremely difficult. Red Bull is believed to have developed a similar idea, likely influenced by engineers who previously worked at Mercedes, but sources suggest their version isn't as refined. That could mean Mercedes still holds the upper hand, even among teams using the same loophole. But the power unit is only part of the story. Mercedes hasn't forgotten the painful lessons of 2022. When the ground effect regulations were introduced, the team completely misjudged the concept. Porpoising, lack of downforce, and an uncompetitive car led to their worst season of the hybrid era. That failure has heavily influenced how they've approached the 2026 rules. According to Toto Wolff, simulator work on the new car has been intense and revealing. He's described the experience as fascinating, especially when it comes to how drivers will manage energy deployment throughout each lap. With active aerodynamics now in play, allowing the rear wing to adjust dynamically, the complexity increases even further. The 2026 Mercedes isn't just about raw speed, it's about control, efficiency, and execution. And if everything we're hearing is accurate, the rest of the grid may soon find themselves trying to catch up once again. Drivers will have more control over their cars than ever before in 2026. Setup choices, energy deployment, and system management will all sit more heavily in the driver's hands. Toto Wolff believes this shift will elevate driver intelligence into a true performance differentiator. It won't just be about speed anymore. It will be about decision-making, timing, and precision. Red Bull's motorsport advisor, Helmut Marko, recently made a revealing comment. When asked which team he fears most heading into 2026, his answer was telling. He said he's worried about anyone running a Mercedes engine. That single remark suggests Red Bull's own data points toward Mercedes holding a significant power unit advantage. The teams using Mercedes power seem to support that belief. James Vowles at Williams has praised the work coming out of Brixworth, calling it exceptional. Carlos Sainz is reportedly very encouraged by what he's experienced so far. Pierre Gasly, whose Alpine team will also run Mercedes power in 2026, has shared similar optimism. When you step back and look at the bigger picture, the numbers stand out. 8 of the 20 cars on the grid will be powered by Mercedes. That's 4 teams potentially benefiting from the same technical foundation. If the power unit truly delivers what insiders are suggesting, Mercedes-powered cars could be a constant presence at the front of the grid. But there are reasons to stay cautious. Mercedes has been here before. In 2022, despite years of preparation, they got the regulations spectacularly wrong, and the 2026 rules are even more complex. The interaction between active aerodynamics and the new power units introduces countless variables. Battery management will be critical, and no one yet knows which team has mastered that balance most effectively. Toto Wolff remains careful in his outlook. He's well known for saying the glass is always half empty in his world. Even when the data looks good, he searches for weaknesses. That mindset has been a strength for Mercedes in the past, helping prevent complacency and forcing constant improvement. The car will be officially revealed on February 2nd at its launch event, but the real answers won't come until testing in Barcelona and ultimately the opening race in Melbourne.